Chapter 2. Riches are all around you. The Bible says, "The earth is full of the goodness of the Lord." Psalms 33:5. Riches are all around you, for the simple reason that divine presence, though invisible, is omnipresent, or present everywhere. It is like the air around us. There is no shortage of it. Each man can breathe in all he wants, and there is still an endless supply of air left. You may liken this presence to the ocean. You may go to the ocean with a thimble and take a thimbleful of water, or you can go with a demijohn and fill it. The ocean doesn't care, and there is plenty of water left. This presence is infinite life. There is no life apart from it. This presence also is infinite substance, in the same way that your thoughts and feelings are the substance behind everything you are, possesses, and do. Your consciousness, atonement, with this presence overcomes all sense of deprivation or want, because this presence is fullness of being, the living fountain from which all blessings flow and which supplies everything that exists. There is plenty of everything, as well as an abundance of opportunity for the man who will tune in with the infinite and think big. He will gain a response from the presence and thereby bring all manner of good into expression in his immediate environment. It is the Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom of health, happiness, peace, joy, and abundance in material things. There is enough of everything. Begin now to clearly realize that the creative power within you is unlimited. Then there is no reason whatsoever for limiting the extent to which you may enjoy and experience what you can create by means of this power. You are drawing from the infinite source, and you need never worry about taking more than your share, because the infinite storehouse is inexhaustible and eternal, the same yesterday, today, and forever. Man's great folly is in not realizing the true riches within himself, and in looking upon external products, possessions, and conditions as being the true riches instead of the creative power of his own mind. Remember, there is no limit in taking what you will from the infinite storehouse. Your true wealth consists in identifying yourself with the source of opulence and great riches. Think opulence, that is, think big, think generously and liberally, and you will find good flowing to you from all quarters, such as money and countless other things, all representing different facets of wealth. Omnipotence is within you, therefore there is plenty of power available to you, infinite peace, boundless joy, and absolute harmony, plus an infinite number of ideas for success, expansion, improvement, and advancement and creativity along all lines are available in endless variety for the man who joins up with the infinite riches of God within him. All things be ready, if the mind be so. How he implanted riches in his mind. I have a letter from a businessman, the substance of which states that he was brought up to believe that poverty was a virtue, and that he knew this superstitious belief implanted in his subconscious was blocking the improvement of his personal welfare and expansion in business. However, after listening to a series of my lectures on Sunday morning, he affirmed several times a day as follows: God's wisdom, power, and creative energies are extended and expressed through me. Just as a branch of a tree is an extension of the life of the tree, I am a son of God, and I inherit all the rights, privileges, and blessings of God's riches. I center my mind on God and sense my oneness with this invisible presence. I believe in infinite substance and infinite supply. I believe and mentally accept now that the infinite is showering me with its riches, bringing harmony, inspiration, blessings, and abundance into my life. I am one with my Father. His creative power is mine. His wisdom, strength, intelligence, and understanding are also my wisdom, strength, intelligence, and understanding. Infinite intelligence directs me in all my ways, and His spirit of opulence is my abundance, success, and well-being. I open my mind and heart to the riches of the infinite, and prosperity follows all my efforts. God and man are one. My Father and I are one. The above prayer is very beautiful and also effective. This man continued to repeat these truths 3 or 4 times every day in his office. The result has been that he has opened 3 additional stores and has employed 25 more people to supervise and handle the business. The so-called miracle was simply a redirection of his mind and a cultivation of the spirit of opulence. The cause of his financial trouble and its reversal. A young boy of about 16 years of age in my neighbourhood came to see me. He complained that his father would not allow him to go to college and become an engineer. His father was constantly saying, "We don't have the money to send you to college. We can't meet the mortgage on our home or the note that is due at the bank. We never make ends meet. Forget it." You can see the reason for this father's financial lack. He was constantly dwelling on lack, limitation, and financial restrictions of all kinds, and his subconscious naturally responded according to the nature of his habitual thinking. Think rich, and riches follow. Think poverty, and poverty follows. His reversed attitude worked wonders. I explained to this boy's father that all he needed was to cultivate the feeling of opulence and to constantly imagine that he possessed all kinds of riches. As a result, every night prior to sleep, he imagined that he had received a letter from his son, telling him how happy he was to be in college and thanking him for all he had done for him. Furthermore, he claimed silently and feelingly, "God is the eternal source of my supply, meeting all my needs at every instant." During the day when thoughts came to his mind such as, "I am short of money, I hardly know how to pay my bills, what have I to give, I am broke," and so forth, he never permitted the sentence to be finished in his mind. He persisted in neutralizing the negativity by immediately affirming, "God is the constant source of my supply, meeting all of my needs instantaneously." Often, at first, he had to do this 30 or 40 times in 1 hour. But after a few days, the momentum and force of his habitual negative thoughts died out, and he ceased to be troubled by them. Then, almost miraculously, he won a large sum of money from a lucky lottery ticket, which paid all his debts, and gave him increased confidence and faith in the power of his mind to meet all his needs at all times everywhere. Today, his son is in a university of his choice, and is deeply grateful for the discovery of the real riches. This father and son will no longer tremble in fear and trepidation when financial exigencies and emergencies loom up before them. Magic formula for paying bills. A pharmacist in London, England, who attended my lectures some years ago, told me that he had started his chemist shop on a shoestring, so to speak. He opened his pharmacy on money borrowed from his father-in-law, who constantly pressed him for repayment. Bills were unpaid, and he was in desperate straits. However, in one of the lectures at Caxton Hall in London some years previously, he had heard one of my statements: "Whenever you receive a bill for anything, immediately give thanks that you have received that same amount." After pondering this philosophy a bit, he began to do this regularly and systematically, and inasmuch as whatever the mind gives attention to magnifies and multiplies exceedingly, his business began to improve. 3 doctors in his neighbourhood began to direct all their prescriptions to his pharmacy. I'm happy to say that today he is the proud owner of 3 very successful pharmacies in the City of London. The thought image of receiving the amount of the bill gradually sunk into his subconscious mind, and he knew that thought image of money was the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. I have taught this magic formula to many businessmen, and in every case they are eternally grateful for its benefits. And all things, whatsoever ye shall ask in prayer, believing, ye shall receive. Matthew 21:22. How to handle financial problems. The first principle in the art of becoming rich is to realize that thought is the only intangible power which can produce tangible riches from the storehouse of the infinite. Every created thing, every form, and every process you see in this universe is the visible manifestation of a thought of the infinite intelligence. As the infinite thinks of a motion, the thought becomes that motion. As he thinks of a form, the thought takes on that form. This is the way all things were created in this world. You live in a thought world, and in order to become rich and solve your financial problems, you must continuously dwell on thoughts of wealth, prosperity, and success. The infinite had to think of a sequoia tree to bring it into being, and the thought proceeded to produce the tree, even though centuries may have been required to bring it to completion. The infinite thinker, when it thought of a sequoia tree, did not cause the instant formation of a full-grown tree, but he started in motion all the forces necessary to produce the tree through the subjective wisdom operating in the seed. Likewise, when you desire to be free from all the financial problems and all sense of pecuniary embarrassment, you must realize that you are a thinker and that you can originate ideas, images, plans, and purposes. Furthermore, become aware that all structures, inventions, and all things fashioned by your hands first existed in your mind as thought images. You cannot create anything in this world until you have thought that something into existence. This being true, saturate your mind with these truths, such as, I have absolute trust in God and all things good. I know that I will be able to meet any situation at any time, for God is my immediate source of supply, presenting me with all necessary ideas in the right way and at the right time. God's riches are forever flowing freely in my life, and there is always a divine surplus. As I repeat these truths, I know my mind is being conditioned to receive divine supply forever flowing. As you reiterate the above truths and feel the reality of them in your heart, you will develop the spirit of opulence, and regardless of the economic situation, stock market fluctuations, or other circumstances, you will always be amply supplied, no matter what form money power may take, from $5,000 to $50,000 a year. A few years ago, a salesman who attends my Sunday lectures and who listens to my daily radio program asked me, "How can I make $50,000 a year? I am married and have 3 children. I barely make ends meet. My wife has to work in order for us to break even." In many instances, the explanation is the cure. I explained to him that the thought image or mental pattern of wealth in his mind is the first cause relative to that thing. It is the actual substance of wealth, untouched in any previous conditions of lack, limitation, or restrictions of any kind. His starting point was the thought image. He realized that this is the modus operandi for all expression, whether on the scale of the universal mind or his individual mind, which is itself a part of the universal mind. The salesman concluded that all he had to do was to communicate his thought image to the subconscious mind, and the result or manifestation of his idea would come forth. The following is the sequel to our conversation, based on his letter to me. Dear Dr. Murphy, shortly after I talked to you, every morning for the following 3 months, I gave myself the mirror treatment. I stood before my mirror after shaving and decreed out loud, slowly, feelingly, and knowingly, "John, you are a tremendous success. You are making $50,000 a year. You are an outstanding salesman." I kept repeating this for about 10 or 12 minutes every morning. knowing that finally I would build in my subconscious mind the mental equivalent of $50,000, and that I would succeed in psychologically impregnating myself with that amount. I was guided to take up public speaking. I gave a talk about 10 weeks ago at our annual sales meeting. The vice president congratulated me. I was promoted, and I was given a more lucrative district at $10,000 annual salary. My commissions and salary the past year have exceeded $50,000. Truly, the mind is the source of wealth and all the riches of heaven. He worked hard and got nowhere. One time I interviewed a junior executive who said, "I work very hard, spend long hours in the company, and I pray every night saying, 'God is prospering me in all my ways, and I accept my good now.' Yet I get nowhere, and I have not had an increase in salary in 5 years or a promotion of any kind." He admitted, however, that he was jealous and envious of the success and promotions of former classmates in the organisation. His former college friends had gone up the ladder of success and excelled him. He was bitter and critical of their progress. This was the reason he got nowhere. Thinking negatively of his associates and condemning their wealth, promotion and success caused the wealth and prosperity for which he was praying to flee away and vanish. He was condemning the things he was praying for. He was hurting and injuring himself because he was the one thinking and feeling these negative states of mind. Actually, he was praying two ways. On the one hand, he was saying, "God is prospering me now," and in the next breath, silently or audibly, he was saying, "I resent that fellow's promotion and increase in salary." He began to realize that his mind is a creative medium, and that the thoughts we think about another person, we bring to pass in our own experience. He reversed his mental attitude and made it a special point to wish for all his associates health, happiness, peace, and all the blessings of life. He made it a habit to rejoice in their prosperity, promotion, and success. And as he continued in this attitude, promotion and advancement came to him. His changed attitude changed everything. A sure way to become financially secure. Money is a medium of exchange. It is a symbol of freedom, beauty, luxury, power, refinement, and rich and joyous living. Money may be looked upon as a divine idea, maintaining the economic health of the nations. It should be used wisely, judiciously, and constructively. You become financially secure by impressing in your mind that money is not only good, but very good, and it blesses mankind in countless ways. In your mind, continue to imagine that you are a distribution center and that you possess all sorts of riches, that you are bestowing these blessings on others. As you do this, you are opening the way for still greater supplies to flow in. Your motive is right, and you know in your heart that you have the right to plenty of money. You expect it to flow in avalanches of abundance. Your security and happiness are the results of the wise use of the power and wisdom resident in your subconscious mind. Life will reward you when you believe and accept success as your divine right. The real key to financial security is to constantly feel, know, and imagine yourself serving others in a grander, greater, and more wonderful way. Imagine greater and greater success and abundance happening to you. Accept all monies received with a deep appreciation and use them freely with grateful acknowledgement to the infinite being from whom all blessings flow. Use the following prayer frequently, and you will convey the idea of financial security to your subconscious mind. I know that money is an idea in divine mind. It symbolizes wealth. I recognize it as a means of exchange. All of God's ideas are good. God created all things. He pronounced his creation good and very good. Money is good. I use it wisely, judiciously, and constructively. I use it to bless mankind. It is a very convenient symbol. I rejoice in its circulation. God's ideas are instantly available to me, and I have a divine surplus. God is the source of my supply. That is my supply now. Wealth of all kinds flows to me in avalanches of abundance. There is only one God and one mind. Every idea in the mind of God is spiritual. My relationship to money is friendly. It is a symbol of God's wealth and His infinite abundance. The idea of money is omnipresent. I am one with all of the wealth in the world. I use it for good only, and I thank Thee, Father, for Thy supply. Highlights to recall. 1. Riches are all around you, for the simple reason that you live, move, and have your being in God, and God lives, moves, and has His being in you. God is omnipresent, therefore all of His riches are present everywhere, within you and all around you. 2. The creative power in you is unlimited and inexhaustible. Your true wealth is in identifying yourself with the spirit of opulence. 3. Stay your mind on God and sense your oneness with the infinite storehouse of riches within, and riches will flow automatically into your life. 4. If you think of lack, limitation, and restrictions, you will create more lack and limitations of all kinds. What you give your attention to, you magnify in your world. 5. Realize that God is the eternal source of your supply, meeting all your needs at every instant, and wonders will happen in your life. 6. A magic formula for paying bills and banishing all debts is to give thanks that you have received that amount of money when you receive any kind of a bill, and that idea will gradually impregnate your subconscious mind. 7. Your thought is the only immaterial power you know, and your thought can produce tangible riches from the invisible storehouse. Think riches, and riches follow. Think poverty, and poverty follows. 8. Your thought image or mental pattern of wealth is the first cause relative to wealth. It is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. 9. To condemn the wealth and prosperity of another is to hurt yourself. Your mind is a creative medium, and what you wish for the other, you are wishing for yourself. You are the thinker, and your thought is creative. 10. You will become financially secure by mentally identifying yourself with the eternal source of supply, which never runs dry, and by having a deep desire to service others in a grander, greater, and nobler way. God will supply all your needs, and there will always be a divine surplus. If you enjoy these videos, then please consider liking them and subscribing to the channel for more similar content. If you'd like to contribute, then please also consider becoming a channel member, or you can make a donation via Buy Me a Coffee. All of your support is very much appreciated.